Everyone, Maurice and welcome to Tanks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development for today's video terms only. The investment topic today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, I just want to say good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are today. Hope you guys had a great Saturday so far, or if your Saturday is already done, that you're moving on to Sunday already. So with respect to Ethereum, as I woke up this morning around 9 a.m. on the East Coast in New York, it seems like it's up about 2.13%, bouncing during midnight from the $2,138, which was the bottom that we formed yesterday. And it seems like we are trending more of a reversal right now, ahead of the Father's Day weekend on Sunday tomorrow. So I'm going to go through a technical analysis to see what do we see the trends going forward from here. Was that really the dip yesterday, or are we going to see more selling pressure going forward from here? So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. So moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticker ETH. And first, I just want to apologize. My voice is a little bit lower today. I'm feeling a little bit lethargic today because I don't know, maybe I slept too much, or maybe I was training yesterday, biking and hitting the gym pretty hard. Maybe I overtrained a little bit and I didn't really eat enough, so I'm feeling kind of slow at the moment. Feeling kind of tired at the moment. So with respect to Ethereum, as of today, we are currently up about 2.19%. And with respect to the reversal that we have had yesterday, you could see that during midnight on 18th, you could see that we hit all the way to the $2,138, which was at the time was the right move, right? You saw the propensity of the crossing that we were crossing, but I was expecting the crossing will durate a little bit more, down to potentially even to the low 2,100 or $2,050, which was the level that I was looking to buy at, right? Because I was thinking, if we're gonna go below to that number, we're gonna hit this psychological resistance level that is extremely consolidating, extremely firm historically, that it just makes sense to buy it that way, but we never got there. So I practiced patience, so I didn't buy the dip, if you may, because like my holding is relatively large. I have currently 35 Ethereum as a whole, so every single purchases I'm going to be make going forward will be relatively thoughtful, right? I'm not just going to be buying for the sake of buying for a swing trade perspective. What are we going to be seeing going forward today? You can see that the MACD we crossed. And I think we are having more propensity to go up from here. I think we might have a little bit of selling pressure knowing the fact that we did already. You could see that we hit the 2,275. You could see that little mini green candle right here, but we kind of subsided from there. So we slowly reversed backward, basically to reconfirm the MACD. You could see that we still have a little bit more duration to go to match with the previous gap of wedge that would form, right? So we need to slowly form that scoop up. And on the R side, knowing the fact that I've told you guys yesterday that we were at the submerged level, I think yesterday we were a little bit about like at the 40 level, but I think towards midnight, as we shifted to the international time dynamic, people overseas have bought up the dip. Some countries are a day ahead compared to people like us in the US, right? Or vice versa, right? So yesterday was an opportune time, and people saw the dip yesterday, which is some people Saturday for some folks internationally, right? I know especially in China they're ahead of us. That they bought the dip and subsequently reversed from there, right? And I think Father's Day is already happening overseas at the moment. I think today is Sunday for some folks overseas, which subsequently had that affectation. And that's why we are seeing some reversal at the moment right now. You could see that the crossing is going to durate a little bit, so we have to be patient about that. We might see a little bit of a sell-off, and then once we complete the scoop, then we cross up again, then the RSI will be confirmatory, then we will go up all the way back. And I think the oscillations is going to go back up to, so we're going to bounce basically from $2,150. This is basically the resistance level that I told you before, and then we're going to go to like 2,250, which is somewhere that we're testing right now. And then the next level will be all the way up to the 2,350, which is another level that we have formed, but it's not as substantive. So the likelihood of like actually breaking through that to the 3,450, the 2,450 would be a lot more likely than just be hovering in the middle ground here. So we do have a big leap up here. So I don't mind actually buying at these level. I think buying yesterday, at the $2,130 level was a very good level for you to buy in already, knowing the fact that we were highly sold yesterday, right? With respect to being down about 8% at the moment yesterday. That today, with respect to the international dynamic and also at the same time, how the chart is set up right now for quick swing gains of potentially minimum of $300 to maximum about $600 wouldn't be surprising to me. We might even get up to there to the $2,750 depending on how bullish we are or some news that we get around the media affectation during this weekend coming up. I know Sundays we typically have one of those black swan news that could change the market dynamics pretty dramatically. So, and on top of this, the Father's Day. Again, we don't really have the investment sentiments around are people buying Bitcoin or Ethereum for their father, right? I personally didn't because I've already bought enough on behalf of my family already. So I don't know how other people are thinking about it because like crypto and Bitcoin are becoming more and more of commercialized type of assets, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if some people actually decide to do so. So that could have some supply and demand dynamics affectation as a whole, which is a good thing, right? If you think about that, right? And with respect to the wedge that we've been talking about, it seems like the wedge is pretty much broken right now. Knowing the fact that if you look at the wedge formation, right, the expectation was that it's gonna become like wider and like as we were at the widest level from the $1,000 in separation of the spread to closing to about like 300. But we broke that today, so the wedge formation is basically destroyed at the moment. So we have to kind of redraw the chart, but like we need to look out for like what's gonna be happening later today to see the reversals of the scoop. Because like if we keep falling, we might, but I don't think so because like the RSI and the MACD doesn't tell me that except like at all, and I think that would be just not logical at all. And if we did that, we'll be forming an outlier which tells me something is funky happening in the supply and demand. That I believe that if we reverse back upward and form the scoop, and by Thursday or Friday next week, we see that we go back to like about 2,500. That means that the wedge is no longer in formation. We're not really seeing an upward wedge. We're just consolidating, truly, on a sideways fashion. It's just that again, it's like a mirage that we've been forming, looking like we were leaning more towards that side of the spectrum. The formation has to be confirmed over time. The formation is not confirmatory after this outlier that's broken, right? Because like it's no longer the shape that we're looking for anymore. So the apex will subsequently be changed. So I don't know if we will actually be expecting some sort of sell-off by July 4th or July 3rd to be more exact based on the chart that we see here, right? But something to look out for because the fact that the wedge is not forming. It's more like a downward wedge right now, if you think about it that way, right? But I don't know because like we're not really forming one side of the spectrum in terms of the shape right now. Definitely to verify, something to look out for. It's my job to obviously bring this up to you so you guys are cautious but not surprised going forward. Just to recap on all the numbers that we just talked about today, with respect to the current price point, I think the reversal is definitely coming. I think based on the chart right now, we should see more of an upside going forward from here. I believe that with respect to the affectation, I was expecting that the purchasing would begin later on Saturday or Sunday morning because of the Father's Day, but I forgot to encapsulate the international time zone difference, right? That foreign countries are already Saturday, foreign countries are already Sunday because they're a day ahead of the people in the US. So that's something I forgot to encapsulate, which subsequently drive this more of a buying pressure today ahead of the Father's Day, which I believe is one of the catalysts that is affecting the supply and demand dynamics. So I think buying it today would be, or yesterday if you were one of those lucky ones at the $2,138 at the bottom, was a very opportune time to buy because based on the chart setup right now, we are bounced up for a reversal. Excuse me, and we still waiting for the MACD to slowly cross. But the RSI is highly oversold and is reversing. It's peaking up already. So we should continue that oscillation. which is great, right? Are we gonna see the 1750? That's something we need to still to verify, because it seems like the formations of the wedge is no longer in shape anymore. It's kind of forming an outlier right now. It looks like a pseudo upward trend, but it's not really having any consistent shape formation. It looks some sort of like a downward trend if you chop up like the first half of the week. So it's kind of like a mixed signal that we're seeing right now. So it's not a confirmed upward wedge, which is a good sign for us, because that indicates to us that we shouldn't foresee a major sell off in the near term, right? Definitely, most likely not gonna be on the July 3rd time period, but we need to like continue to observe the wedge formation, right? Because the market can change, right? And if it changes, then we need to be more cautious going forward. But right now, it seems like a good sign that we're leaning more towards the optimistic side of the spectrum. And with respect to corporate adoption, 20%, $9,000, 12 months price target, 4 extra money from here. All right, so that's it for today with respect to my technical analysis on Ethereum ticker ETH. Hopefully, you guys find this helpful. And especially hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I know Father's Day is tomorrow, or it's already occurring in your time zone, depending on what country you're at. But hopefully you guys enjoy this before I head on to my day. It's important that you guys, have that clarity, have that peace of mind. So I feel like I have that peace of mind to inform you guys, so you guys are well taken care of, right? Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, also the bell notification, and watch out for next coming up. Take care. Bye.